Young and restless Victoria still can't believe that Daddy waltzed back into Newman Enterprises, demoted her to co-CEO, and swapped out her portrait for his in a whirlwind power move, and she's becoming increasingly desperate to reclaim the throne. What lengths will she go to in order to wrest control back from Victor? You might be surprised. Victoria was both hurt and incandescent with anger when her father, who up to that point had been semi-retired, announced that he was coming back to run his fractured company, whilst demoting her to co-CEO. We're still not sure why co-CEOs aren't equals, but that's a question for another day. For Young and Restless current purposes, the co-CEO is essentially the COO, or the vice president as opposed to the president, if you will. Angry tears welled up in Victoria's eyes when she first learned of and reacted to Victor's declaration, and later when she noticed he had her portrait removed from the main office and replaced with his own. She couldn't imagine what she'd done to deserve all of this, but Victor had no qualms about informing her that she had failed to put on a united front with her brothers, and that the company he built from the ground up had suffered as a result. Victoria, of course, blamed Victor for trying to force the siblings to work together and hollered at him that Nick's latest departure from the company was all on him. Well, that escalated the situation to the point where Victor informed his daughter if she didn't like it she could leave Newman entirely. Nikki walked in and tried to act as a buffer by suggesting that she and Victor would go away for a few weeks before any changes were implemented. This placated Victoria, but Victor immediately nixed the idea and declared that the changes would go through immediately. Both women were stunned, and in their ensuing conversation, it became clear where Victoria's mind was going. Victoria seemed to be planting seeds of worry with her mother by making references to the toll that Victor coming out of retirement might take on his health, and even hinting that his faculties might not be what they once were. We can't imagine that Victoria would go so far as to launch a campaign to make her father look incompetent in an attempt to regain control, because if she did that she wouldn't have much room to complain about Adam's tactics anymore. She'd be doing something just as reprehensible. Actually, we can imagine it, given how desperate she appears to be over the whole situation, and we can't help but think that it's going to lead her to a place she never thought she'd go in order to achieve her own ends. That place, on the same side as Adam. With Adam pledging to work his way back up the ladder at Newman Enterprises after being canned for trying to blackmail Audra Charles, Young and Restless previews have him landing as Nate's assistant, which means that anything Victoria gets up to will be difficult, if not impossible to hide from him. Young and Restless spoilers have Victoria trying to strike a deal with Nick, but he's moved on, and we don't see him looking back. Meanwhile, fall previews have Victoria gunning for revenge and taking Nate along for the ride, which means that his assistant will be too. Might Victoria have to do the unthinkable and hold her nose and team up with her loathed younger half-sibling in order to wrest control of the company back from their father? If you're up to no good, there would be no better ally. Just saying. Ironically, if Victoria teamed with Adam to take back control of Newman Enterprises, we're sure he'd insist on being made co-CEO in return for his cooperation. So if successful, they'd kind of be giving Victor what he wanted all along. The two of them working together to run the company together and putting on a united front. Might Victor have made this power move in hopes of forcing his kids to band together to oust him and take their rightful places as his heirs? If so, checkmate. Do you think Victoria will eventually team with Adam to oust Victor? Let us know in the comments section.